This is Denise Love and welcome back to my channel. Today I thought I would play with some of my Mashas watercolors. This is the little essentials set that I got off of her shop on Etsy, and they're the most beautiful watercolors. I did these in that art haul and all the colors are so beautiful. And I wet them down with water the first time I used them, and so then they ran everywhere. So this time I think I'm not going to wet them down with water. I'm just going to play, and I'm going to pick like one side of this color wheel that was created and just see what we can get. I really liked in our haul where we got, let me go get these. So these are the art totems I made in that art haul, and I really liked this blue, green, orange side of this kind of color palette, and I think this was these last colors over here. So I'm going to stick kind of in these. I'm going to sit this one kind of over to the side as my inspiration palettes because I love them. And then I think let's just go for random shapes and see if we can get these to run and bubble, because kind of like the totems, I like how they run together. I like making marks on top, and that's kind of what I'm feeling. So I'm not going to wet them this time because somebody recommended just to pick up the paint with the brush and go for it. So that's what I'm going to do, and let's just see what we can get. I'm not looking for anything specific. Maybe some more water. Maybe I'll let these run together and we'll just see like what can we get these to kind of do. Just kind of connecting shapes and watching them run. The paper is dry. I'm using it right on the dry paper. Somebody always asks, is that paper wet? Nope, that paper's dry. And I go ahead and do what I want to do on top of that. I don't want that water drop there. Look at these. These are pretty. Let's see. I think this is a orange yellow. It's a yellow yellow. Whoa. Not quite what I wanted. Let's mix some orange with that. Let's get that moving into some other direction. Kind of wish I'd mixed that pink with that instead. There we go. Let's just dip some pink on that. That yellow was bright. Way brighter than I expected. I really do like this kind of yummy pink. Let's just do a bigger one of that. Add some more water in there. Maybe more water and watch it bloom. Maybe we can pick some of this water back up, because that's a lot of water. Just experimenting and playing here. There's no rhyme or reason where I'm going. Let's see what this kind of, whoa, look at that color. Okay, that's bright. These colors are really pretty when they granulate, and we could add some more water in there to make them bloom, give us some other options for texture. Now I'm just coming back adding some extra color in here just to see what does that get us. And then I'm kind of, you know, letting it dry some to kind of do its thing. Ooh, look at that. And then I'll come back and mark make on top. Alright, so I'm kind of loving that actually. It's kind of weird. It's kind of shaped kind of off doing its own thing. Maybe I'll put one of these going this way, coming off of there. I wasn't looking for anything specific. I just want something kind of funky and fun. right, I'm loving that. I'm gonna let this dry and then we're gonna mark make on top of that. So I'll be back. All right, I think we're dry now. And I wanna do some other stuff on top, maybe some gold, maybe some oil pastels. I do know with the oil pastels, I need to do whatever it is I plan on doing before I get to those. So I'm gonna shake up my Gold Mica Paste by Kuretake. Use it with my dip pen. Somebody said they didn't understand why I got gold all over the top of my gold thing here, and then they shook it without the lid on it tight enough, and they're like, oh, now I know how that happens. Got a little piece of scrap paper here. There we go, just making sure we're writing good. Kind of feeling like maybe I want some circles in here. Just kind of defining what we've already got going a little bit. Kind of out there, just outlining just what I already got in here some. Maybe I want some dots. Ooh, maybe I want some little pearls on my lines, which I think are so beautiful. So we'll go ahead and do that. And I mentioned this a bunch and people still say, what if I can't get ink off of my pen? Well, your ink might be too thick. If you're not getting ink off your pen like this easily, you might not, if it's a new nib, this is the Kakamori brass nib, you gotta kind of prime that and wash the oils off of it. And so I did mine with toothpaste and just kind of got those oils off so that the ink would stick to the nib, because otherwise it just slides off. You also, if your ink gets too thick, like you leave it sitting out like I do, it kind of slowly dries. Then I just added water. I added plain water and it's been fine. People say use distilled water. You use what you feel is right. I've had to thin it down when it gets too thick. You gotta thin that down some. Kind of want that to dry. I got a new heat gun recently. This is the Ranger Heated Craft Tool. I like it because it's not as loud as the other one I was using, which was a embossing heat gun. And it doesn't throw air all over the place, so I like that a lot. And I kind of wanted to do that because now I can pull out my very, very old circle stencil from when I was in college. And kind of wondering if I could do like a circle all with gold dots out here, just because, why not? And this will keep me kind of in my area. Let's do right here. Yeah, why not? And so now I'm kind of thinking, now I can kind of stay within an area without drawing on my piece. I mean, you could take a pencil and mark it off if you wanted. But using something like this to just kind of stay in the lines of a circle perhaps is makes it nice and easy to get that. Ooh, got that touching the stencil there. I don't want that all over the stencil. Let me dry that before I put this back down. Actually, I don't like that right there at all. Just throw that in the water for a second and let's just see. Because I got one dot that's just way too big. Can I just wipe that off? Well, made a big splotch, didn't it? That's okay. Is what it is. No big deal. We could make some bigger splotches so that that blends in. Let's just do that. Let's just make bigger splotches. So if you make a big splotch accidentally, you know, you can come back and fix some stuff. Not a big deal. And make it look like you meant to do that. Don't worry about mistakes. We'll call them happy accidents. It's not a big deal. And then I'll just add to our layers that we're doing. Alright, so let's let that dry and I'm going to put the stencil back down and finish my circle. And when you do this too, keep that heat gun moving around. You don't want to set a heat gun directly on something until you burn it and make it bubble, basically. Alright, I think we're finally dry. It's kind of lifted up and you could still tell it wasn't dry. But now we're dry. Let's go back to our little circle here. And then I'm just going to continue making dots here in our circle. Alright, we're going to let that dry. And I kind of want one, now that I'm sitting here looking, I kind of want one over here. So I might use this one right here. And I was just rinsing the nib as I was looking around, drying and thinking. And this is kind of an underlayer, you know, it's the first layer. You could do gold as the last layer. You don't have to do gold at all. But I'm just kind of thinking in my mind, I might layer some color on top of this. And while I've got the gold open and the pen out, then I want to go ahead and get these layers in there. Ooh, look at that. Oh, what was on there? I think texture paste was on there. Oh no. That's not good. Who knows what I set that on. Alright, let's see what... I think I had some kind of paste on here from where I set this down, because I was playing with that texture paste before. So we'll get that off that stencil. Put that stencil away. And again, if you end up with something like a little accident, and the reason why I don't mind making accidents is because it's one of those opportunities to think, okay, what can I do with that? And it's pencil, so I'm kind of wondering, can we erase it? Let's just try. Nope. Alright, cannot erase it. So that's going to be a random mark underneath something. We'll go that way with something that we're doing with a pastel. Whoa, I'm feeling that. Alright, so now I'm kind of thinking, I like these Stabilo Woodies. I'm kind of thinking, do I want something out here in a color, or do I just want it to be the pastels? I like mixing my media. Use whatever you got. Pencils, Poscas, Woodies. Ooh, do we want some Posca? Look at this color. This is a pretty color. I could do that is a pretty color. Let's see. I know it's not started. This is an artist board that I put these on. I linked these below the video with artist tape and painter's tape. My favorite, I love putting these on artist boards because I can move them around and I can move them off of my table when it's in the way. Alright, so this is a fun color. Do we want dots? Do we want circles? Do we want lines? Kind of feeling like maybe we want some... Ooh, let's do some little birds, or the little V's that kind of look like a little flock of birds. Yeah, I like that. Just kind of another layer in there. And I like to kind of follow the natural segregation of the colors for putting marks and interesting things like that. Okay, I like that. I need something that's going to come out over here. So kind of feeling like maybe, you know, I liked over here how we had these green dots, and I liked over here how we had these kind of salmon colored dots. And I'm almost thinking that I like that green. So I'm going to look over here in my Mungyo Oil Pastels. I've got these sitting over here on the side, and I'm going to pick a color that I'm like, oh yeah, that color. So I'm just going to pull a few out. I'm kind of thinking maybe this one. Oh, yes, I like it. And I'm thinking we could do some kind of something that goes off the page and covers this little thing here possibly. So let's just be brave, just do it. It's going to be just something else. As these are kind of going off the page, that's what we're going to do. And that'll give us a chance to right on top of it. Look at that. And then you just don't have to worry that there was anything there, because we have just moved on from it. And because I did that there, and I might move that, come down here too, so that it doesn't look like it was the only random thing that we did there coming off the page. see. Ooh, now I'm getting excited. So if you did something weird and you had a mistake, you know, a mistake or whatever, just cover it up. It's not a big deal. So let me just leave that out because I like that. I also kind of like these pinks. I really like this pink. So now I'm kind of thinking, do I need that over here somewhere? Because I like it. I mean, I'm almost wanting, I really like, because we've got rounds and circles and things, I like round things. I mean, I could kind of throw a circle in here. So, what if we try out this thing here? This came in one of the art hauls. I think it was one of the, might have been the sketch box, but what if we do, let's throw maybe a circle. We could do this with the Woody. Maybe even like a blue circle, maybe. Do we want a blue circle? Are we feeling that? I don't know. And we've got some orange. Do we like the orange? Maybe like the orange. Could just kind of do just kind of throw it out there with a couple layers, maybe. Move it around a little, because why not? That's kind of fun. I don't know that I love it, but it was fun. And now I could layer on that some yummy little dots. That's fun. Okay, I like that better. I don't know that I love it, but I kind of liked it. Maybe we should throw some orange in here in other places so that it's not by itself. Oh yeah, see, now there we go. Now I'm kind of feeling that. Okay, yes. Yes. That was okay, that's fun. I do like those. Let's just keep on going up with that one. I liked it. Super fun! So what else do we want to do on here? We've got options. Could do like this, like a little, yeah, I do like this, like a little colored. Ooh, I like that. That was super fun. That was fun. See, if you don't think you're like, oh, I don't know, is it done? Is it not done? Only you can decide that. I'll have people post in the group and they'll be like, I don't know if it's done. And they're wanting other people to tell them, is it done or not done? And you know, that's a decision the artist makes. You got to tell us if it's done. You're like, okay, it's done. Look what I did. Rather than, you know, looking outward for that information. You need to, and if you don't know if it's done, set it to the side until later at some other point in time you come back to it and you're like, oh, this is exactly what it needed, or oh, it really is done. Kind of want this in here somehow. And if you're thinking it needs something else, and I'm always thinking needs more layers, don't be afraid to add some more layers. Look how pretty that is. Okay, I love this one spot. Oh! Good choice. Now I'm kind of like, all right, let's go ahead on off the over here. I don't like it to be in just one spot, but that's my preference. That's me, the artist, telling you. I have decided I like it to be in more than one area. And I do like that orange on top of that blue. Yum, yum, yum. Let's see. Okay, so I'm still over here kind of thinking, kind of looking. Got some gold, I've got some color. You can look at it and think, I don't know if it'd ever be done, but one day it'll be done. Just set it to the side and look at it for a while. So I'm just kind of in my mind thinking, do I want to add anything else, or do I like where it's at? Or does it need some more stuff? You know, I've got some of these yummy acrylograph pens from Archer and Olive. These are nice little fine line things that we could come in here and add some little detail. That's why I like having these little colored pens from them. They're such great options. See, now I don't want to put my hand down on the pastels. So I know somebody's going to be like, how do you finish that? I've got a video on in my studio playlist on my channel that shows you how I finish pieces. But because this one's got pastels, oil pastels, if you had soft pastels and oil pastels, I'd just use the oil pastel fixative. But I would go outside and fix it so that the oil pastels actually kind of dried and get like a hard coating on the top. Otherwise they don't really seem to dry. But I would use the Sennelier oil pastel fixative if I was using oil pastels anywhere in the piece, and whether that meant on top of soft pastels too, it's fine, it'll fix that too. Kind of digging that like it is. I just got to think a little bit. Do I want one more circle out there? Because this orange circle is kind of by itself. So do we want something else drawn, or are we happy like that? Just got to think these through and decide for yourself, and then think, okay, here's where I think I'm stopping for today. I'm still thinking real quick. Look at this color. I'm kind of digging this color. Let's just be brave. Whoa, that was even, it's almost neon on this orange. But I like having these random pops of, wow, I didn't expect that. I'm really digging those. So let's put this in another spot. Oh yeah, I'm loving that. Okay, let's go ahead for today and call this one a good stopping point. I feel like I'm finished, and I might experiment, later on a different piece. I like peeling tape, so I'm going to always have a little edge that I can peel tape off and kind of stop everything. And it kind of finishes things off and gives it like a nice finished air, where when it goes wall to wall to me, to the edge of the paper, I kind of feel like it needs to be framed with a mat. You can't tell it was finished. Ooh, look at that! Super fun. This was a 9x9 piece of the Hahnemühle paper. If I didn't tell you what paper I was working on, I just cut 3 inches off, and then I'm using that little 3 inches as my sample because I actually wanted this to be a finished piece when it was done. Let's just look and see if we like any other direction. Like, I'm actually kind of liking that direction right there. So this is one choice. I like that, or the way that we painted it. And I'm kind of thinking I like it this way. So there we go. I hope you had fun experimenting in the Mashas watercolors with me and doing just a little abstractness out there to play and experiment with some different mark makings and some colors, and just kind of see where did we end up with today. Hope you enjoyed today's project, and I'll see you next time.